Hey guys, I'm SKV and you're watching SKV Plays On, and welcome to another video of Warframe. In this video, I'm showcasing my Verdilac build. This is a whip that can whip a techrot Babau eximus back to where it came from. Let me show you what I'm talking about. 1 techrot Babau eximus steel path, enemy level 215, simulate, invisible, wrathful advance, and overguard is down, shield is down already, health is going down. Look at the number of damage. You can't even see the techrot Babau right now because of the numbers. And within no time, techrot Babau down. Let me show you that again. Techrot Babau eximus steel path 215 enemy level, simulate, invisible, wrathful advance, and then this one's a toxin type. Can't get too close to it, so keep rolling back. And done. And then Loki appears. Let me show you the build. This is my Loki setup for the Wrathful Advance helmet that I'm using on the 4th ability. This is a negative efficiency and negative range build, more towards duration and strength. You'll notice I am using rolling guard just to keep myself safe sometimes. It does get hectic when you don't have too much health and too much shields to protect you. Arcane Fury, Arcane Crepuscular, 2 Arcanes. Steel Charge mainly for the melee damage increase. Arcane Fury also same melee damage increase. Arcane Crepuscular because it helps with the final critical damage and increases ability strength while I'm invisible. Loki can go invisible for 30 seconds depending on this build. And of course, these are the Shards. 2 Tau Forged Crimson for duration. 2 Tau Forged green ones for corrosive stacking. And then the yellow one, Tau Forged, for casting speed. You don't need Tau Forged green ones, but you can use just the normal ones, 2 of them, to be able to stack up the corrosive. It does armor strip. Then coming to the Verdilac itself, the whip. This is Naira's whip, the Archon Naira, as you can see. Archon Naira spine-shattering whip. This one has an innate, unique combo in which it sends out projectiles, which you just now saw. I'll show you how to do the combo. I only know how to do it on the keyboard and mouse, so I'll be telling you that. And I'll tell you what the mouse button I'm using does and what my keyboard button that I'm using does, so that you can figure it out on console controllers. And on the mouse, I use my right click, which is for aim. While holding down the right click, I start clicking on my quick melee button, which is the F on the keyboard. You can see the projectiles, right? So while holding down the aim button, which is the right click on my mouse, and then clicking continuously on the F key, which is the quick melee, you can send out projectiles in whatever direction you point at using your right analog stick or your mouse, basically. I am holding down again the aim button on the mouse, which is the right click or the right mouse button, while continuously clicking on the quick melee. You can also hold down on the quick melee button and it will still keep doing the continuous attacks. You don't have to keep clicking and get a finger cramp or something. So that is another quality of life option that there is in this game, that you can switch on and off as well. But yeah, that's the controls for making use of the projectiles. Now moving on. The build itself is going to be using melee Vortex Arcane and magnetic damage most of the time. Magnetic obviously helps you get rid of the overguard, which you just now saw. But that's not the reason I'm using magnetic. It's because I want to use the Vortex ability from killing an enemy affected by magnetic damage. And of course, blast damage, just to chain a bit of the elemental statuses. It chains nicely when it's blast damage. So I'm using this build right here. And you can also see I'm using Naira's Contempt. Because this is Naira's whip, I thought maybe I'll add a little bit of melee damage and status chance from this particular mod. And also it gives a bonus slam attack of 150%, which you don't really use much because you're not doing any slam damage here. But it kind of works nicely for the extra status chance and melee damage boost. But yeah, you can see I do have a ribbon mod which gives me crit damage and attack speed. Attack speed is a must. If you don't have a ribbon mod, you can always go with your quickening just to get some attack speed. I have 42 attack speed on this ribbon. Here you can get 40% attack speed. If you don't have quickening and if you can get primed fury, that will give you 55% attack speed. Attack speed definitely helps. It sends out the projectiles much more faster. You can use any stance you want. I was just trying out this particular stance versus this one. I'm going to go back to this coiling wiper. Now, let me show you what this can do against normal heavy gunners. The reason I'm using the Vortex, melee Vortex build is not for the Babau especially. This one is to group enemies together and only normal enemies can get grouped up together. Eximus have an overguard, so it's not easy to proc that grouping status effect of it. So I'm using the normal heavy gunners right now just to showcase what it can do. There you see, grouping them up. And then the blast damage should finish all of them with a nice chain effect. Now let me show you what it can do when you speed it up. Everyone's gone. It is not guaranteed that they will group up. You have to have magnetic status on the enemy and then kill the enemy with the magnetic status on them. Then you have a certain amount of chance that it will group them up together within a decent radius as well. Let me show you again. And done. In the first hit itself, they got pulled in, and then the blast damage did the nice chain effect to finish all of them off. Now let me show you what is helping me with the magnetic damage. Of course, the Verdilac does have magnetic because I am using this one simple magnetic rush, which again, if you notice, it gives attack speed also. Along with this, I'm using my Hound with this build for magnetic disarm. I use the reflex denial, which does magnetic damage. It reflects all the enemies' damage output back to them in the form of magnetic damage. Along with this, it also uses repo audit, which emits magnetic pulse that disarms enemies within 30 meters. This will spread magnetic damage while it also disarms the enemies. This also helps enemies kinda run towards you. If they don't have any weapons for long range shots, they're gonna try to melee attack you, which means they'll cluster up either way. They'll kinda group up when they're running towards you to a single point. But because of this magnetic damage, and also you can see even on the weapon, I have radiation, gas, and magnetic. That's the setup. Again, I'm using magnetic rush here as well. But yeah, radiation, gas, and magnetic gas spreads the damage, so that helps as well. And now let me show you what this can do again to heavy gunners, steel pod level 215. Clusters them up and takes them out. Scaldra troop survival, steel path. Just about 5 minutes should let you see what it's capable of, and I will make sure not to use the life support, which will let you see what I can do to the Babau. And you can see the supply A is kind of getting filled up with the red marker.
Do something about that scrubber before it does something about you.
There we go, the Babau is out. Let's go say hello to the Babau, shall we? Going invisible, Wrathful Advance, and then this one's not even a 215 level steel pot Babau, this one's a 165. So you can see it's already down and I'm moving on. As you can see, everyone's getting pulled in. Easy millions of damage. Let's see, where is this Babau? There it is. Babau is down. Enemies are down. Also, did the Acolyte even show up? There he is. You're pretty late, Acolyte. You took your own sweet time to show up. Why is that? Where are you anyway? There you are. Did I already kill him? I didn't even see him. Well, anyways, now that we are done with that, well, anyways, that's about it. Thank you again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed that bit of a gameplay and the build video. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, a sayonara, a tata, a see you, and a bye bye. I'm done with this video. See ya.